Hello guys and welcome to another video. In today's video we're gonna dive in the depths of Greek mythology, which I recently decided to do as a series because it's really fun. I enjoyed doing it and you guys enjoyed it as well. I noticed that Netflix is doing a series about Greek mythology. Initially I was like, fuck, Netflix is stealing my idea. But then I saw the trailer and I realized that it's a fictional tale which is just based on the Greek mythology universe, so that's fine. Here we go. So in the previous week's video we talked about the Minotaur and the Labyrinth of Crete. Really dark and spooky. So if you want to watch that one, I will leave a link somewhere here. And before I start this video, I just want to kindly ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, of course, because it really helps me and I hope I reach 1000 subscribers before the end of this year. So yeah, without further ado, let's start! So in today's video we're gonna talk about the tragic and well-known love story of Orpheus and
Eurydice.
Eurydice. Okay, this name in Greek is Eurydice and Eurydice. I couldn't have guessed that, wow. This is perhaps one of the greatest Greek myths that inspired a lot of painters, poets, and there are a lot of pieces of art inspired by this myth. The earliest version I found of this myth is by the Greek lyric poet Eurydice, circa 500 something BC, and of course I'm gonna be based on that version. Orpheus is known as the most talented music player in ancient Greece. It is said that his father was Apollo, who was the god of music, and the muse Calliope, so both of his parents were artistic. It is believed that his voice was so divinely beautiful and he started learning the lyre when he was a little boy, but he was really good at it once he started and he became a master when he grew up. And so he was playing his lyre so beautifully, he was singing so majestically, and it is said that all the trees and rocks were trying to be near him when he was playing his music. Just imagine a dude with his guitar and with a cute voice singing, you know. Anyone comes to mind? So something I found online said that according to ancient texts, he taught medicine, agriculture, literature, writing, astrology, a lot of stuff. Basically, he was talented and smart, I guess, and it is said that his music broadened the horizons of people's minds, so he was pretty good, okay? I think we made that clear. I cannot stress this enough. He was a very talented and good musician, okay? So apart from that, he had an adventurous character, and it is said that he took part in the Argonautic So it is believed he took part in the Argonautic expedition, which is the voyage of Jason and his fellow Argonauts to get to Colchis and steal the golden fleece. I believe there's a movie about that. And it is said that he played a vital role there because he was playing his lyre and the monsters fell asleep. He was basically the bard of this party. If it's like a Dungeons and Dragons, he was the bard, he was playing his guitar, his lyre, excuse me, same thing honestly. Yeah, it is said that he put to sleep the sleepless dragon that was guarding the golden fleece, so Jason and the Argonauts managed to steal it. And also he managed to fight the sirens, who, in case you don't know what sirens are, they're female-like creatures. They look like mermaids and beautiful women, and they seduce the sailors with their beautiful voices and they kill them. So of course Orpheus was very talented and he devoted his whole life into music, poetry, philosophy. Like he wasn't that much into women and relationships. He was doing his own thing. Until one day he went to a gathering of humans and beasts and his eyes fell on a wood nymph, Eurydice.
Eurydice.
She saw him as well and she fell in love. It was love at first sight. They decided to get married. Just like that. So their wedding day dawned bright and clear, and they got married by Hymenaios, who was the god of marriage or something. There's a god and goddess for everything, so I'm not surprised that there was a god of marriage. This guy blessed their marriage, and then a feast followed and the party. It was really good and fun. The feast and party ended and the two lovers decided to go home to However, nothing in Greek mythology ends well, so there was this man that really hated Orpheus, and he was in love with Eurydice, and he really wanted to kill him and steal her from him. And he was lurking in the shadows while the couple was holding hands and returning to their home, and he was just waiting and waiting until he finds the right moment and kills Orpheus. And so as he did his move, Orpheus saw him, luckily, grabbed his wife by the hand, and they started running into the forest, trying to escape from this man, this crazy man who wanted to kill him. And this man, he was showing no interest into giving up or anything. He was really determined and committed to his purpose. And while they were running, Eurydice stumbled and fell. While he turned and saw her, she had just fell into a snake nest, and a poisonous viper had bitten her, and she was basically dying. She saw her leaving her last breath there on the ground into the forest in the middle of the night. And the man saw all of this and he decided to just fuck off, just left, cursing his luck and Orpheus. So after the death of his wife Eurydice, Orpheus wasn't the same person as before. He wasn't carefree, and all the happy and beautiful songs he used to sing and play on his lyre, they turned into sad songs, and he was depressed and he felt less of himself each and every day. And of course he lost his interest in women. He had no intention of meeting another woman and remarrying. Nothing seemed to bring joy in his life. One day he decided to visit the underworld, and he took with him his cards, his lyre and his beautiful voice, and he knocked on the door. Hades opened with his wife Persephone. He told them his desire to get back his wife because her death was tragic. When Hades and Persephone saw the pain that Orpheus had been through, and of course he started playing his lyre and singing, and they said that this beautiful and sad song melted the hearts of the most cruel people. Yeah, Hades was convinced, and they say that even Kerberos, the three-headed hound who guarded the gates of the underworld, was weeping and covering his ears with his paws. So yeah, this was pretty touching. So the voice of Orpheus was so moving that Hades promised that he will give him his wife back. However, he warned Orpheus that for no reason he will turn and look back at her before they reach the surface and see the sunlight, because that will undo everything and she will return back to the underworld forever. Pretty easy, huh? You just walk straight ahead for like half an hour or an hour max. I don't know how long the journey was. So with great faith in his heart and joy, Orpheus started walking. He had his wife on his back. He could hear her walk and breathe, and he was happy. He couldn't wait to reach the surface and reunite with her. He really tried to control his feelings because he just wanted to turn around and hug her. And as they were approaching the exit, his heart was beating faster and faster and faster. So the moment he stepped on the world of the living, he was in the light, he turned around to see his wife. And surprisingly enough, well, not surprisingly, this tale was supposed to be sad, so what did you expect? She was still in the dark, she didn't step on the world of the living, the sun didn't hit her face, so she was basically still into the underworld, and because he turned around and saw her, she just disappeared right before his eyes. If he waited 2 seconds, he could have saved her, like, Ah, man, how can you be so impatient? Please! Immediately he started running back to the underworld and the gates of hell were closed, and Hermes was there, a messenger, and he informed him that he had only one chance and he blew it. So from then on, the broken-hearted musician walked around aimlessly. He basically wished for his death. And so it was that one day a group of furious women, it is said that they were followers of the god of wine and orgies and parties, Dionysus, and they usually pray to their god, give tribute, and if they are unable to do that, they leave the place really mad, bring chaos and everything. And basically he was on their way, and I don't know, they killed him. They saw him and killed him. The tale says that they cut him into little pieces because he was worshipping the god Apollo, who was his father, and not Dionysus, who was their god, and they were offended or something, and they chopped him into little pieces and threw him in the river. And they said that his head and his lyre traveled and reached the island of Lesbos. There the muses took his head and his lyre and gave him a proper burial. There are of course a lot of versions of how he died. Another version says that Zeus struck him with a lightning because he wanted to expose how the underworld works, because he went there and saw everything. Whether it's the one thing or another, Orpheus was happy because once he died, his soul went to the underworld and reunited with his love, Eurydice. So kind of a bittersweet ending there. So yeah, that's the story of today. So the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice is very similar to the story of Lot. It has this analogy of not looking back. So if you haven't heard of that, basically in the book of Genesis, the God wants to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, two cities that were drowned in sins. He basically ordered a good and righteous man, Lot, to take his wife and family and walk away. So God told them to head for the mountains and not look back while the cities were burning. And while Lot was committed to that, his wife was curious and she turned away to see the two cities burning, and she was transformed into a pillar of salt. Also, this tale reminds me a lot about Dante's Inferno. The only concept that reminds me is like wife dies and one travels to the underworld to get her back. You can check it out, it's really creepy and dark. I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!